David Jolly, I want to start with you and get your reaction to that sound from Chris Christie, both what you think is motivating him to say it now and who it is potentially landing within that room.
Look, he's motivated by personal political ambition. I think you're going to hear a lot of potential candidates mirror those words. The question is this the inflection point that some Republican leaders hope it is? Because voters, Republican voters, may not agree with Chris Christie and others. And look, this is true of Ron DeSantis, and I agree fully with that. You know, Ron DeSantis, there is no daylight between DeSantis and Donald Trump. So is he really the person to move the party to the next chapter? He's too much part of this chapter. And we're about to find out. I mean, Donald Trump, I understand why the party wants to whitewash him, the party of him, but the party now is a party of Trump's brand with or without Donald Trump. And the one thing that no candidate, potential candidate has done is personally knock out Donald Trump, the candidate. We haven't seen that, but we're going to see the showcase, if you will, over the next 2 years.
Debbie, I want to hear your take, your message to those who think that DeSantis is the solution to defeat Trumpism, and also this question of is what works in Florida politically, can you then take that and extrapolate that out to the rest of the United States during a national race?
Yeah. Hi, Alicia. Look, what we know is that DeSantis was brought up by Trump. He is actually now what I call him is Trump on steroids. And what he's been doing is instead of focusing on the issues that we have here in Florida, which is an affordability crisis, the prices of rent, the prices of electricity, the prices of goods and services here in Florida are much higher than the rest of the nation. He hasn't been doing that. What he's been doing is trying to appeal to the most extreme wing of the party. And that's exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get not just a Donald Trump, but a Trump on steroids without any of the charm, by the way, Alicia. The man does not connect to anyone. He's been very easily, comfortably winning his reelection by only appearing on Fox News. He has not really accepted questions from any credible media or journalists in any of his press conferences. He's going to stumble on the national stage. So in some ways, I have to be honest with you, in some ways, I hope that the Republican Party picks Ron DeSantis. He's not going to do well nationally because what has worked here in Florida recently, because Trump used Florida as the base of Trumpism, is not going to work in the rest of the country.
And David, we know the argument that DeSantis is going to make here. There's a pro-DeSantis super PAC out with a new ad that's praising his pandemic response. I'm not going to play it because I want to spend the time talking to you, but we know that that's been sort of his core argument to Florida and to Floridians. I wonder also, though, as that recedes, right, as it is no longer in recent memory, if it is as potent as it was for him in this gubernatorial race.
No, because as Debbie is pointing out, as the column does, look, nationally, voters continue to reject the brand of republicanism. I don't really use the term Trumpism anymore. It is republicanism. And if you take Ron DeSantis, consider you have a leading Republican candidate who uses migrants for political theater, who set up his own election police force, who has declared war on science and history and the LGBT community. Who does that sound like? It sounds like Donald Trump in today's Republican brand. And so the opportunity will not be there for DeSantis. But I'll bring in another Florida man here as a proxy, and that's Jeb Bush. And here's why. Whomever is supposed to lead the party after Donald Trump is going to be embraced by the likes of Jeb Bush and Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell and all of these others. And how do you think Trump voters respond to that, right? If the coronation happens for Ron DeSantis or anybody else as an embrace of the establishment, there's no way you hold together the Trump coalition. Republicans are in a tough spot right now. I think they're popping champagne corks a little too early with DeSantis.